Hello. Welcome to American Wasp. I am your host, Deter McBizness, joined as always by Devil's Advocate Productions, aka Alex.
What's going on?
I'm good, man. I'm good. California is just as isolated as ever. It's just the people out here are completely clueless. I look forward to talking with you and reconnecting with my East Coast political roots as
I-95.
Yeah, the I-95 connection, man. It's the real deal. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about today. I do want to react to this super Christian who calls himself indie thinker a little bit later. But for now, I thought we would just do a little catch up real quick. Have you been on everybody's show as usual?
Well, yesterday, I actually I talked to someone else in California. I talked to Chris Ahuja, who's running for Congress in the 32nd district, which is on my channel right now. But
okay,
it will also air on this space at some point whenever there's syndicated content needed.
Okay.
But
wow,
he was talking about
that's a hell of a get. How'd you get that? It was just
he was following me, and I was like, "Hey man, you want to be on this space?" I'm asking everybody. I'm asking comic book creators. I'm asking influencers, actors, whatever, politicians, and he was super nice. We talked about how there's a rising left movement in this country, how we don't like labels. Being called leftist or socialist or whatever. Like we're for these good policies. It doesn't matter what you call us. We talked a little bit about Gavin Newsom and how, rhetoric is good, but Prop 50 is where I'm like, okay, you're serious. You're doing something. Okay, good. And how people call him the Timu Gavin Newsom. He's half Indian. He's biracial. I did not know that. Like me, racially ambiguous from just a first glance. And that was super cool. I also made a video
what's
about
his
Battlefield.
He's half Indian, half white.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So
can you remove? Can I remove that, or do you have to do it?
What?
The screen.
Oh, my bad.
No, it's fine. Yeah. So I want to talk about Joe Rogan for a minute.
Yeah.
Because that guy is a psychological case study in how money and fame can just completely transform your personality. I mean, the guy, it's really sad because he did have, like, through his stand-up comedy and probably talking to smart people and listening, he probably picked up on a lot of natural knowledge, so to speak, like folk knowledge about human behavior. And he actually did a decent job of finding a handful of logical fallacies when he would like react to certain content and arguments. But then he, at some point, and I think the money and the camera really put it on cocaine, he started prioritizing and then obsessing over getting the guest to like him. And having a bro out rather than an interview.
Yeah, because it was him and his buddies just like, I don't know, this podcast thing is new. Why don't we do this? And we, Joe Rogan had a website, and he would post videos on his website of just like, I don't know, we're hanging out, and here's backstage at the comedy club, and what it's like hanging out with other comedians or whatever. They started podcasting. He wanted to be the guy where other comedians come on the show and we hang and bro out.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad idea as long as you stay in your lane and have self-awareness about what value you are to American culture and society.
People like Bert Kreischer were saying, like, I would go on the show and then I'd get a call from one of my buddies being like, hey man, what the fuck did you say? Because they would forget that this was broadcast. Right. And that's the feel that they wanted to keep, that he wanted to maintain, of like anyone could say anything.
Right. It's all about
whoever
the
I
vibe.
have on here, I'll have
And
Neil
then-
deGrasse Tyson, and he was smoking a blunt. That's crazy, right? Oh my God.
And then, well, he would always take an area of science and or knowledge in general, and then find like the minority voice, and like it's except for, and he actually used to do that with progressives in Bernie in 2016.
Yeah,
and I thought, I thought he was going to be a real asset to the left, but he's in the wrong crowd, man. He's in the wealthy crowd. He's in the famous crowd. He's in the UFC wealthy and famous crowd.
Yeah.
And he's just got too many relationships with high profile people that he's not willing to part with, because his success and money and everything depends on access to those people. But the thing that I'd like to see in celebrity culture is other celebrities like stepping up and talking shit about Rogan. Be like, yeah, he invited me to go on. There's no fucking way I'm ever going on his show again unless he apologizes for the damage that he's done to this country.
Yeah,
unless he apologizes for
we're starting to
giving
see that. Starting to
from
see
him.
Well, no, we're starting to see comedians kind of speaking out against them,
right?
Because they're frustrated again, just on a comedian level. Of I don't want to be on tour somewhere, and a crazy fan sends me a death threat or heckles me in the club because Joe Rogan said something about me on his podcast that I didn't hear. You know what I mean? Mark Maron,
the gangsterdom
or
of
that
stand-up comedy.
Yeah, exactly. Or that my money's tied up in him. Like they don't want him to be able to dictate.
Has so much
who's
power.
Successful, who's not. Because
it's almost
again,
like
his taste is not great.
It's almost like the consolidation of a lot of sectors of corporate America, where like comedy was corporatized by Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Comedy was like that type of personality that do you know how fucked up most stand-up comics are?
Yes, because I tried to be one.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I would never call myself a comic, but I dabbled in stand-up comedy for a little bit too. But you have obsessive minds, and like things bother you, and you wonder why things are the way they are when they could be better, and why doesn't anyone listen to me?
Right.
Those kinds of things.
Yes, that voice in particular. Why isn't anyone fucking hearing what I'm saying?
Oh, do you have that video? Let's do it.
Yeah. So this is a clip you sent. I haven't watched it yet. I'm excited to react.
Oh, you haven't watched it yet? Oh,
I'm
baby.
excited.
Oh, wait till you see this shit.
Jesus was born out of a virgin mother. What's more virgin than a computer? If Jesus does return, even if Jesus was a physical person in the past, you don't think that he could return as artificial intelligence?
Oh my God.
Artificial intelligence could absolutely return as Jesus. Not just return as Jesus, but return as Jesus with all the powers of Jesus.
You could combine
right
Tesla's Optimus robot and the best foundational artificial intelligence model or whatever.
I love how
it
the
reads
guest
your mind
entertains it.
and it loves you and it wants you and it doesn't care if you kill it.
Loves you.
It's going to just go be with God again.
First of all, some of that any evangelical Christians should be furious with this blasphemy that he's saying. I'm being interested to hear if Ben Dixon has anything to say about this clip. But
can you think about that? Just that opening comment.
I wish he would talk about this more.
The opening comment is absolutely absurd. What's more virgin than a computer? And then that computer leads him down the AI trail. I mean, his mind is just all over the place, man. It's frenetic. His mind is just.
It's my first blunt in high school. That's what this is. This is like. This is just like philosophical time, getting stoned with your friends. And again, that's why I wish he would talk about this more. Oh my God, what did he say? Funny how the new Jesus requires so much cash funding.
Yeah, let me see that. Let me see, because there's an epic. Are you a George Carlin fan?
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, George Carlin. I won't actually bring it up, but for those of you who are George Carlin fans, definitely check out his stuff on organized religion in America. Yeah. And he has this epic rant. He's like, he loves you and yada, 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 but he needs money. can't handle money for some reason. The guy's all knowing, all powerful, but he needs your money. And it's just it's a wonderful little piece by him.
But yeah, so, I mean, again, I wish Joe Rogan would talk about that kind of stuff more, because that's what he does. He talks about stoned dumbass shit, and good, so long as you talk about stoned dumbass shit. And the problem is that there are people who just, again, I was there, I was listening to Joe Rogan. I was not like taking him I had no great respect for him. Even when just coming across his podcast, it was just like, oh, you have other comedians I like better on, and scientists and shit. You're going to ask these dumb questions that I would ask. All right, I'll listen to your podcast. I had no great respect for him. He was the Fear Factor man show guy to me. His stand-up was mediocre at best. Horrible. So, he can do it, but it's not Bill Burr. It's not Carlin. It's not
smart. So Carlin is a legit legend of comedy, one who provoked both thought and laughter. Yes. And just as a side note, he's not technically a stand-up comic. He's actually a humorist, because he's got like essays that he reads to you while he's talking to you. And the way he says it is performative, but it is really all about the writing with Carlin, because he's a genius. So I wanted to wrap up. Let me wrap up Rogan real quick. I mean, I give him. It's actually really tragic. So being in that Hollywood stand-up scene for a minute, you hear things about people, and one of the things that Rogan used to do was freely admit that he was not a smart, sharp, well-informed comic. Yeah. He used to say something like, I have to work twice as hard as Whitney Cummings or Chris D'Elia because they're so much smarter than me. And my response to that was, yeah, they might be a little bit smarter than you, but really the big difference between you and them is education. Yeah. And you did not take your education seriously.
And they didn't last much longer. Their reputations.
And Whitney, I don't know where D'Elia went, but Whitney Cummings went to Penn, and she's extremely bright. And unfortunately, she went to the Riyadh Comedy Festival, but she was one of the good ones up until then.
She was already falling off during COVID.
Oh, was she? I didn't pay as much attention as maybe others did. But anyway, I just wanted to, Rogan is just like what could have been, what could have been an amazing intellectual access point. If he had worked on himself, see, that's the hypocrisy, is that he thinks he works on himself by meditation or whatever spirituality he's got going on. I don't know what his fucking smoking values come from. I don't, whatever. But it's supposed to be about like self-edification at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And he has devolved, not evolved. And that needs to be said from the rooftops by A-list mainstream celebrities. They need to step up and start attacking their own, because they're the only ones who can do it.
Yeah. Yes. Two channels I want to point out: Elephant Graveyard and American Redact. Both those channels are put out content about other comedians' podcasts, from like Theo Vaughn and Legion of Skanks and stuff, and how people are starting to kind of turn on Rogan and the sphere, because again, it's not fun being a comedian. Well, having to go to Austin and be like, well, the biggest place here is owned by him, so I'm going to have to go to this place and face harassment. The audience just wants to hear slurs. It's not a good environment for art and diversity in talent. Again, dude, Comedy Central used to have fucking Chappelle's show, and then Dimitri Martin's show, and then Nathan Fielder's show, and then fucking Key and Peele, the Workaholics, Broad City. Different flavors of comedy.
All amazing talent.
Amazing talents.
But you realize that there's, I don't know the name. You realize that I don't know the name of the person, or that maybe it was 2 or 3 people at most, but 1 to 3 people were responsible for putting that talent together.
Yeah.
On that network at that time. Because that's how the decisions roll. Like that's why you get hired to be a TV executive, is to do something like that. But no, the what was I going to say? Something about Rogan. Yeah, I mean, I wish someone would go on his show and call him out for his bullshit. Oh, the mainstream media did a really good job of assigning blame to Gen Z, like Joe Rogan fans, males, obviously, and pointing out that Gen Z shifted towards conservatism, towards the Republican Party, whereas Gen Z women shifted way towards the Democratic Party. And so, you know, for me, I think it's appropriate to blame Rogan and his manosphere minions like Theo Vaughn. Like Theo Vaughn's an idiot, man. He's an idiot, and no one should take him seriously. But anyway, we can move on.
The thing. No one should take them seriously. That's it. Like no one should take them seriously, and that's the problem.
But people do. People take Trump. People do.
And that's the failure. Not of like, oh, it's all on this one person. Like we say with Trump all the time. It's not him as this anomalous, you know, secret evil genius figure who came out of nowhere to take over the world. It's that the conditions were perfect for him.
Right.
The media's in disarray. Fucking government hasn't helped people in fucking 70 years, really. 50 years, maybe, with the civil rights. And like the conditions were perfect for this asshole billionaire to just be like, hey, I'm going to bully my way to the front of the line. And here I am. And I am America personified, the rot of America personified. And I think in someone like we're about to see right now in this video, Zoran Mamdani is a example of the good, the Superman side to the ugly, you know, Lex Luthor side.
Lex Luthor, yeah.
But yeah,
yes. One thing about Carlin is like, I just can't emphasize enough. He saw it all coming before anyone else did.
He definitely did.
Like he saw it. He's like, you do not have a choice. You think you have a choice, but these parties both suck. It is capital. It is capital. It is capital. That is the problem. Anyway, let's do this.
So
okay, so for people, so let me intro this. Yeah, you go ahead and bring it up. So this guy calls himself Indie Thinker. And he's a Confederate Christian nationalist, and he's got a minority wife. I don't know. I don't know what minority she is, but I know she's a woman of color of some kind. But anyway, yeah, he's got a Jewish last name, Uberman, and he's like a hardcore Florida evangelical Christian. So he doesn't really have the Southern credibility.
And he's warning us
super
about
commercial.
Mamdani.
You'll see him. He presents himself as super commercial, and it's like, I'm the mainstream evangelical Christian.
Ooh, okay, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of like evangelical documentaries, Teen Mania.
No, this guy presents himself as if he's like your buddy who just has a different opinion, and it's worth listening to.
The mayor of New York City. And what does Politico have to say about it? Well, Zoran Mamdani winning would test how far New York City has come on.
What's up?
Does your connection suck?
Does it? Is it laggy for you?
Yeah.
Try it again.
Wow.
And now Mamdani is the mayor of New York City. And what does Politico have to say about it? Well, Zoran Mamdani winning would test how far New York City has come on inclusion. They've come so far on inclusion, they're also
for you.
It's fine. Just keep going.
Okay.
Including their own self-destruction.
Now it's getting through Congress. So before it was by the sword, now it's getting themselves into parliament.
So that's why it's such a problem that Mamdani is becoming the mayor of one of the largest cities in America. Because these individuals have a fundamentally different idea of what America is, what it's supposed to be, and what it will become. Not so long ago, we were told that Christian nationalism was the greatest threat facing America. In fact, David French told us that the seeds of insurrection are being sown in your church every single Sunday. And then we were also told that Christian nationalism is worse than Al-Qaeda.
Christian nationalism.
Yes, absolutely. This is a bigger threat than Al-Qaeda.
So let me ask this question. Is this Christian nationalism?
Now it's getting through Congress. So before it was by the sword, now it's getting themselves into parliament.
Did Christian nationalism do this.
Bro, I don't know if we can show this shit. This is crazy. I don't know if we can show dead bodies.
I don't know.
Is
Are there
Christian
bodies
national-
there?
Yeah. Hang on, let me throw this back up. Oh. Nope. Boom. That's
Got it.
that one. I got it.
Isn't responsible for this.
We are tired to be outside
They blurred it.
performing
Yeah.
warrior every day. Please tell Trump to save our lives.
So he just
in
draws
Nigeria.
examples from other countries.
They are
Yeah.
killing Christians in Nigeria, massacre Christians.
Oh, I see. You're not talking about around the world. Of course, there's bigger threats, but in America, white Christian nationalism is the worst enemy facing America. You mean like this?
Now, Father, we are praying for this young man whom you have chosen for such a time as this.
Yeah.
And we thank you, Lord, for the victory.
Oh, wait, that's not Christian nationalism. That's just a bunch of Christians praying for Zoran Mondani to become the next mayor of New York. Not even just praying for him that God would bless him or that God would protect him or just praying that God would use him and maybe even change and convert his heart from a false religion, but actually praying that he would win. Now, of course, that's not.
So he's like, they're not real Christians, because if they were, they would be saying, dude, don't be Hindu or don't be Muslim. You got to
Right.
be Christian.
Right.
And
You can't
also,
get
he's
along
just
with other
like,
Christians.
is this white nationalism? It's like, these are brown people. You're just showing footage of brown people. It's just so lazy.
Yeah, it's the blacks
Where'd you
too.
come
He's
across
very
this
he's
guy?
very racist against black people too, as you can tell by
I mean,
the.
clearly.
So,
But like,
yeah.
where'd you come across him?
I found him a while back actually. We connected on Twitter. I was talking shit and trying to get him to like debate me or whatever. And it didn't end up working out. He blocked me. But I found him looking for evangelical channels. And he is just a piece of shit. Like, he comes across as like someone who, like, you know, is really trying to put on a good face for Christianity in America, and it's just the same repackaged Confederate flag waving, Bible beating bullshit. And it's, you know, like, they can't, it's clearly like just Islamophobia. I mean, that's all. That's all it is.
Lazy ways to wrap up. I can't, man. It's so frustrating that people fall for this at all, because you'd think like, oh, no one would. This is so blatantly stupid. Who would believe racism? Who would believe that like someone can't be a good person because of a different religion or
scroll to 450.
I mean,
scroll
to 450. All right.
451. Yeah. Because this is just so obvious. I mean, it's just amazing how just oblivious this guy is to
And let me
his
see, like,
white
he
trash
has
ignorance.
7.7 thousand subscribers. We can beat that on this space. Come on, tell your friends, folks. But it's just, again, I've been watching a lot of like Christian documentaries on how they plan to like run people for office and all this shit.
You shouldn't tolerate
That's what he's
everything.
doing.
And one of the things that we should have a little less tolerance for is the Islamic agenda in our nation, because Muslims have made it very clear that they have no intent of just being a peaceful religion in America. They are interested in world domination.
We don't say that Islam is here to live, to coexist with lots of different religions and all of us can just hold hands and be friends. This religion was sent to dominate the world.
And if
See,
anybody,
like, he doesn't even put like the person's
context.
name, any
No. And
context.
it's
at
like,
all.
is Zoran saying that?
It's
Like, there's
just like,
different kinds of Muslims, jackass.
it's like,
the
let's get
Confederate.
exactly.
Go ahead, dude.
It's like, let's get a statement from the local church, and you put David Duke on there, like, or Westboro Baptist people.
The funny thing is about the Southern evangelicals, the Confederate Christian nationalists, as I like to call them. Please, everyone, check out my series Who Are MAGA Confederate Flag Wavers and the Bible Beaters episodes, because you need that ammunition to go after these people, because they're coming after you whether you realize it or not. But the irony of a Southern evangelical being Islamophobic is that the most extreme institutionalized parts of the world that are based on Muslim values and Islam extremism, Islam culture, I won't go any further than that, are the most similar to the racist white trash South. The extreme parts of the Middle East resemble the extreme parts of the Southeast in America more than any other part of the world.
They keep whining about, like, whatever they think. I don't even know what Sharia law means.
Well, they're anti-women's rights. They're anti-gay rights. They're anti anything but
that's what I'm saying. Religion. That should be your favorite. You should want this terrorist ideology. You should want ISIS to control American government because you believe all these same things. You want women to have to cover up when they're outside. You want them to be owned by their husbands. You want, gay people to not exist or to be in jail. You want anyone who doesn't believe the dominant religion to be in fucking jail or in work camps and whatever. Like, this goes in line. The only problem they really have is the color of their skin and their language they speak. They can get over this, man. You can really build a fucking global fascist coalition. What is this other video you sent from this guy?
Where
he's talking about,
I don't know which one. What's it called?
Church hosts ICE raids.
Yeah, sure. Fire it up. This won't have any graphic imagery in it.
That just took place at the Dilworth United Methodist Church. And who's surprised that it's taking place at the United Methodist Church?
I sense in my heart tonight what I heard the Lord say, you're a phony and a hypocrite.
In order
to, when he says, it's just funny to me, I'm sorry to pause, but when he goes like, of course it would be the United Methodists. And I'm like, I'm not nearly religious enough to even know why that would be an insult or like what he means, but I'm sure it's racist. But
it's a cultural bias. Like he hates on progressive Christians all the time. And that's something I don't think maybe our audience is aware of. In the DSA, there is a lot of progressive Christians. And that is surprising to a lot of people, not to me, because I actually know the New Testament and Jesus was definitely a socialist. So
I get some
maybe a communist. Actually, he might have been a complete communist.
God in the bio and whatever, and I'm like, I say whenever I react to an album that has songs about Christ or Jesus or whatever, I always say, like, I'm not a religious guy. I understand they are. I'm gonna go with the song and see how the song goes, and I might really like that. One of my favorite songs this year was Glory. It's a song by Jid, and it's all about God and heaven and going for glory. But there is a good side to this. It's just been poisoned in my mind growing up of like, oh, Christians, all they want to do is like censor comic books and video games and movies and complain that people say happy holidays of their own free will. And there's no war on Christmas. They think everything's a war on them.
Well, so there you go. So that's
they conquered the fucking earth.
So I'm just gonna. I know it's to the loyal listeners. I apologize if I come across as repetitive, but these things are so important to understanding the psychology of conservatism, militant conservatism, MAGA fascism, how we got here and how we can get rid of it. It is the victimhood, the faux victimhood of narcissists. Right? Yeah. Like, I'm convinced that conservatism isn't just fascism. Conservatism is narcissism because it's the definition of conditional love or conditional respect, right? I'm not going to respect you as my equal unless you satisfy this criteria. And that's the definition of narcissism. Like, if you're not going to accommodate me 100% of the way, then I want nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
And that's my message to the progressive left is like, that's war. That's like what we're in right now. My three big messages to everyone who I talk politics with. And I usually just say, hey, if you want to know my politics, just watch my channel, because I talk so much politics on the internet that I kind of like get burned out socially.
Yeah.
But I say, number one, MAGA is fascism. Number two, this is war. And number three, it's going to take generations to recover.
Yeah.
And I think that just getting everybody there for that's the alcoholic or drug addict in America. And I believe if America is a spoiled teenager who's addicted to anything, they're addicted to greed. And the three big sins of conservative America, just as a reminder, those of you who watch my show already know this: narcissism, ignorance, hypocrisy. And those are the three things that really define the personality types on the right. And I don't know if I did this with you, but I also wanted to issue a warning to people listening, and maybe they should issue it to another social circle outside of them that might have MAGA in their lives, like conservatives. Just never really trust them with anything too important. Never really like be vulnerable with them. Never really show them the potential weaknesses in you, because if the shit hits the fan and they're have to choose between their conservative worldview and a relationship with you, they're going to choose their conservative worldview. Because, you know, to most people on the left, the news is just data. It's just information. It's facts, hopefully, right? That's what we hope. But to conservatives, news is like sports. It's entertainment, and it's a huge competition. I mean, look at what Fox News did to Hillary Clinton. I'm no Hillary Clinton fan, but look at what they did to Hillary. I mean, they took all of the bullshit of the 90s with Clinton being president and all the embarrassment with the sex scandal and stuff, and they just threw it all at Hillary. Like, oh, great. They were psyched she won the Senate seat in New York so that they could trash Hillary Clinton for the next 8 years.
I loved it.
And that
it was nostalgic for them from the 90s. They hated Hillary. But we got some.
Okay, so wait, hold on. Let me deal with this. And one more sin for conservatives for you, Deter. Racism. Yeah, racism is just a specific form of ignorance.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Absolutely.
There's something.
Yeah. There's there was an election last night, and we're hoping
in Tennessee, in my college town of Nashville, Tennessee, where I went to school.
Yeah. And you know, a lot of people are, you know, disappointed, but I think we should hear from the lady herself, Afton Bain, who ran a great campaign and got within like really close distance. I think the district was a plus 21 during the last special election, which was years ago. And now it was plus 7. So she's chipping away
at something, right? It was like 14 points.
Yeah, it was very close.
Yeah. No,
but this isn't the end of our story. It's not even close. Because what we have built here in this district, this grassroots movement, is part of something bigger that is happening across the South and is happening across this country. Because we are tired of people outside of this state telling us that the South is backwards, that it's hopeless, and it's destined to be ruled by the same powerful people again and again. The South is not silent because the South has something to say.
The blue South, she should be saying.
At Tennessee, we are leading the way. We have inspired an entire country. They are with us tonight, and they are so proud. They are so proud of what we were able to do. And we may not have won tonight, but we changed the story of what's possible here. And we're not done. Not by a long shot. So tomorrow, we keep fighting. Tomorrow, we keep building. Tomorrow, we keep organizing. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for believing in each other. And thank you for believing in a South that refuses to be quiet.
Okay, so
I think it's great.
It's great, but I got some bad news for you. Nashville, Tennessee is the Athens of the South, and it's called that because it has more academic institutions in its vicinity, second only to Boston nationally. Okay, so of all the cities in the South, I'm talking the cool cities too: Nolens, Charleston, South Carolina, Savannah, Georgia. Atlanta is the only one. Atlanta and Charlotte are the only ones that can actually create blue political power in the South as of now. Nashville might come along, and that would be the first step in Tennessee, but it's going to take a while to break down the cultural barriers that a lot of Southern voters have for the Democratic Party. I mean, it's just one of the first questions I ask people these days when politics comes up is like, have you ever spent any time in the Deep South? Like any time, like even for like work trip or something like that. And did you go out and talk to people and like travel around, even in places like Atlanta, even in like places that have like a lot of really well-educated white people who aren't racist? Like you will run into it, and it is obvious.
Yeah.
And it is, and it goes back hundreds of years.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't think most people understand on the left is how far back it goes. But
I think it's for her to make this much of a move and to reiterate, it's not about her. It's not about
right. No, she did great, and I shouldn't hijack.
No, it's all right. It's all right. It's okay. Devil's advocate, man. In my conversation with Chris Ahuja yesterday, he was saying again, it's not about me. He ran last year, didn't win. He's running again this year. If he wins, he wins. The election's in 2026, but if he wins, he wins. If he doesn't, he's not going to stop fighting. He's going to keep going and keep building and keep growing, like she was saying. Right. I think the more we're starting to see, like, you know how like volcanoes or geysers are just the tip of, you know, the proverbial iceberg,
right? Where
underneath means there's been movement, there's been churning of magma and whatnot and rock. There is organizing. There's been organizing since the Iraq War protests, since the Occupy Wall Street protests, since Bernie 2016, since COVID, since Black Lives Matter. There's organizing happening that we're not seeing in the daily news, and we get despondent and we get dejected and we feel like we're alone on this island and screaming into the fucking void. Why can't anyone fucking hear me? But we're seeing more geysers pop up. AOC pops up in 2018.
Right.
Ilhan along with Ilhan Omar, Cori Bush, Rashida Tlaib, Bowman. In 2020, after it was called for Biden, the way I was consuming media and focused on the race, all attention shifted to Georgia. We need those two senators, Warnock and Ossoff, or else nothing's going to get done. And they both got in. And then the day it was announced was January 6th. And then that happens. And you go, okay, this is it. Everyone's on board. Fuck this guy forever. And now, 4 years later, and it doesn't even feel like there was a break from the Trump administration. It doesn't even feel like Biden was president, like, because it was Sleepy Joe. And it was just
because it was incrementalism. It was just more incrementalism.
We got the parliamentarian. We can't give you a minimum wage increase. I mean, that alone would have changed dynamics, but whatever. We're now seeing that pressure again. The volcanoes are popping up, and you're just putting Band-Aids on it. It's going to keep happening harder. And we're seeing that now with people like Chris Van Hollen, who's from Maryland, not the South, but he's an establishment Democrat who's been out here like, hey, man, ICE is snatching up Americans and just putting them somewhere, sending them to other countries. It's not okay. And here he is talking about healthcare.
Broken healthcare system. At this moment, we're trying to prevent a bad system from getting even worse. That's why we want to make sure that we extend tax credits for middle-class families so that they can afford their health care. But shouldn't we be focused on making our healthcare system better? And I agree with those, including the president, who says we should get rid of the middlemen. Let's get rid of all of those insurance carriers. Let's get rid of all the administrative costs. We rack up a huge amount of bills just trying to navigate the paperwork on our healthcare system. We spend 18% of our economy every year on healthcare, but the results don't show that in terms of life expectancy and in terms of care.
All right.
So we're not getting what you're paying for. We do need to change the system. You would never devise the system we have if you were beginning from scratch. So let's not just try to tinker with the broken system. Let's finally get it right and move to a system of universal health care where we're focused not on the profits of different companies, but on delivering healthcare, affordable healthcare for the American people. That's why we need to go for Medicare for all.
Fucking an establishment Democrat said it. He said the magic words, and now it's out there, and now he's going to get asked about it on fucking CNN and, MSNBC, and it's going to be a talking point. It's good. Good.
I mean, we can't get 65% of the country to agree on anything except Medicare for all, except universal health care. It's the issue that that trumps my dad when we talk politics. He's like, there's got to be a system. I can't believe we haven't had a system by now. Like, we were talking about it when I was a kid and never got around to doing it. And I'm like, yeah, you guys kicked the can down the road. And the private sector lobbied to prevent it from happening altogether. And y'all didn't do anything, except for allow the private sector to just get involved with government to an extent that it was never meant to. Yeah. So that's cool to see that. That's a good find. I hope he gets press. I mean, I hope he
gets press. I hope
gets on MS Now and gets on Fox News.
The goddamn candidate in 2028.
Well, I mean, or
at least on the stage.
So Kalinske calls Gavin Newsom greasy Gavin, but yeah, I mean, if you want to call him a political chameleon, and it just might be coping. Okay, this might be cope, but if Gavin sees that 65% number, and he's like, "Hey, if I go in, win the presidency, win both houses, and I fix healthcare once and for all." Like, that's something this party can hang its hat on forever. And we can get back to the argument of the relationship. Well, the question is, does he went back on it? See, that was his original position, and he's gone back on it.
He seems to kind of go where the wind goes. He's not the first one coming out here making this video.
But that's where the wind is my point. Is anyone on his staff going to have the balls to be like, you need to get back on Medicare for all? Like, you need to go left and you want Gen Z women? Like, Gavin Newsom seems like a good choice for me. He could get a lot of Gen Z men too, especially in urban areas.
I think he would have a problem with the women. Halle Berry literally came out today. Now she's an actress who, but people care about what Joe Rogan has to say. But Halle Berry was like, "Hey man, he's not helping middle-aged women. Why? I don't trust him to be the front runner."
Yeah. Well, I don't necessarily trust him, but he does seem to have the most political capital at the moment, and he's the only one talking shit to the bully. Like, he's the only one talking shit.
Yeah, he's talking right. Well, he's talking shit loudly in a way that.
But like Bernie and AOC go on the. Let's talk about this real quick. The Bernie and AOC go on these fight oligarchy tours to the reddest of red areas in America. And the people, and it sounds great because there's enough people there to fill the venue, but like, those areas are still going red. Like, I think it's suburban America.
I think
urban America is on board with resetting the country. And if we can get suburban America on board, then we can really do it.
I think they're playing again this game of we don't care about MSNBC hits or CNN hits or whatever. We're going to the people directly. Zoran Mamdani went to the people directly. Afton Bain went to the people directly.
Yeah, on his turf, though.
On his turf, yeah. But
on their turf.
Bernie and AOC are doing it nationally to get the message across.
Look, it makes for great content. Look, it makes for great content. It makes a splash. It gets on the news circuit, into the news cycle, and even drives it for a day or two. And that's great. But I'm just saying, in terms of converting voters so that we can have a new Democratic Party, I think you can reason with a lot of the moderates and centrists who are already don't think of the Democratic Party as like useless, like it's completely useless. Like it's kind of the only antidote to the Republican Party, which is now the MAGA party, the MAGA fascism.
The only way to convince them that it's not useless is to have people in there who will actually fight and do things.
That's right.
And Gavin Newsom is all well and good if you're going to just meme on Trump on Twitter, but more things like Prop 50, more things like, hey, we're going to stand up and fight
that's
ICE.
Probably
and the governor of California. ICE ran through it. Like, what the fuck?
That's why I'm probably positive on him, is because he did just do Prop 50. So that's probably and Prop 50 is basically the attitude that I think the country needs to adopt nationally for the next 40 years. Whatever hurts Republicans helps America, like politically. Okay. And this is where, and you know, that the video I sent, you can wait. If you have other stuff, we can get to it too. But this is where I differ. I want to know your opinion, because you're a kind-hearted, loving person. And I think Kyle and Crystal are too. And they say that the big difference between me and MAGA is, you know, I want MAGA to have healthcare. I want MAGA to have housing. I want MAGA to have an education. And I'm like, yeah, I do too. But I still want to hurt them. And this is kind of my crushed. I want to and this is like the narcissism in me, which is that I want revenge. But I'm pitching it as like social punishment that we've talked about, the I-95, don't come into our cities with a MAGA trash hat or a MAGA trash bump sticker, because, you know, there's going to be consequences, that kind of thing. But I don't know if I'm trying to sell that as it means as much to me as it does because it destroyed my family. So I want personal revenge. Ergo, my revenge is the collective's retribution. Right? Retribution is good. Revenge is bad. Right? But it's okay. I'll eat it. But I gotta communicate why, the evil, right? We got to get there with conservatism. Conservatism is fascism. Fascism is evil. There's nothing wrong with hating evil. Ergo, I hate conservatism.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that again, that's why it's so surprising to me that people my age, people younger, are into it, because I'm like, we grew up knowing this is bad. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Wanda says Senator Van Hollen is her senator. No, he's not a leftist, but he's brave and would make a great Senate leader. I write him every week begging him to replace Schumer. It says, as a black woman, I can tell you Gavin Newsom, not popular. But again, we'll see. We'll see.
I'm not surprised.
I just want Van Hollen on the stage talking about Medicare for all, at least, if not with many other candidates.
But I don't even think you lead with it, though. I think you lead with the retribution. I think my attitude on one of my last essays, the scapegoat politics essay, was never forgive, never forget, never respect ever again. Shun them, shame them, demean, denigrate, and disrespect them till the day they die or the day they repent. If they want back into the adult room, you know, if they want to be respected again, they're going to have to repent. And if they're not going to repent, then they're going to be told to shut the fuck up. And then when they say that, oh, you're just impinging on my freedom of speech, I'm saying, no, I'm using my freedom of speech to shut down your white trash hate speech. And that's a good thing. I'm done arguing with you. We've had these arguments for 45 years, and you idiots, bullies, and cowards still don't understand things from a rational perspective, mainly because you're not educated, but mostly because you're white trash.
And speaking of education, we got a little story here out of Oklahoma. These
yes, let's definitely cover this.
Let's talk about this.
Yes.
And if Jeff wants to get in here, we'll bring him in. But University of Oklahoma student Samantha Fulnecki, who spoke out after receiving a 0 on an opinion-based essay citing the Bible, questioned whether the TA was only placed on leave after the story went viral. And this is her. If you don't know the story, folks, here's what happened. She was given a year to write an essay, an opinion-based essay. You can write whatever you want. She did. And it was poorly thought out. And she kept trying to use examples of the Bible to explain why, like, trans people are demons, essentially. Yes. And the teacher did not give her a 0 because it was offensive. You know, she did say, yes, it's offensive. This is, you know, racist, bigoted, and wrong. But I'm giving you a 0 because you didn't fucking cite sources. You didn't cite which passages in the Bible. You didn't fucking do the assignment. And you did the assignment within a week. You had a year to do it. This is why you're getting a 0. And so now she is basically angling for Riley Gaines' new position. And Riley Gaines better watch out.
They got her on camera. Oh, Jesus Christ.
For a grieved college student.
I'm a victim. Here we go. Here comes the narcissistic victimhood.
Complaining about trans people. Here we go.
Here comes the narcissistic victimhood.
I'm saddened that they're offended by the truth of the gospel and the truth that I wrote about in my assignment. And it saddens me to see that that offends them and upsets them the way it did. Jesus is always worth standing up for. And I just encourage those people that are dealing with something similar to push back against that kind of behavior. I would rather have my integrity and give my true opinion and get a 0 on an assignment than have to lie about what I really believe.
You go, girl. You fucking go. You go, girl. You are so strong.
What she believes. I'd quiz that professor.
Is that Eric Adams in the middle?
He even believes they're 90.
No. It's
It does look like him though. It's not racist of me, right?
It does look like Eric Adams. But there was also a moment literally like right after this. So they're talking about this girl.
Why are the dumb chicks always hot?
But again, there's hot smart chicks. You just gotta know where to look.
Oh man.
Hinge, man.
Percentages.
Or whatever it is.
Yeah, and I went and I looked at the original prompt. TP USA shared this on X, and it asked students to provide a 650-word reaction response to an article about gender stereotypes and mental health in order to demonstrate that they had read that article and that they understood the material in it. This was not a request to provide some long empirical essay debunking or proving every single thing that the article was talking about. It asked for students' reaction. She gave her reaction, which was informed by her religious worldview. Nothing about her response was wrong in compared to the original prompt.
Right, because you're a professor and you would know, right?
An opportunity to go after her because of her religious beliefs, ironically claiming that that's not what the motivation was. And I can't help but think that, I'm so thankful for TPUSA, because if it was not for conservative organizations like that, none of this would have come to light. And quite frankly, she probably would continue to be demonized for her religious beliefs.
Oh, victimhood.
So I'm really thankful to see that conservatives are standing up for their beliefs and not self-censoring anymore.
Self-censoring anymore.
Self-censoring.
As if they had. As if they did. As if they ever self-censored.
Yeah, that's the best way to judge. I mean, it's actually not so different from what the Zion Nazis do with their victimhood to justify their atrocities. Their atrocities are just more explicit. But this is, I really hate like having to bring this up, but it's true. I've studied the fucking New Testament. Like when you've actually studied the text within an academic setting after Sunday school, and you get into like the original Greek text and the ancient Hebrew and like the different meanings of words and the interpretation, and you just see the commercialism of religion. You're like, this is evil. This is the easiest way to prove that this is evil if people just actually knew the New Testament, but they don't. So this bitch in Oklahoma, I hope she gets famous, and I hope she gets on like a Fox News show or something. And so she can be our like Hillary Clinton, You know, she can be just another. She can be another. Who's that dumbass Tommy Lauren?
Riley Gaines.
Riley
Gaines, who's out again. She better watch her fucking back because this chick is coming to take your job.
These white trash fascist bitches. And, you know, somebody said you can call them Karens. I don't even think that's good enough. Like, there's something about the women that are like, you know, really dolled up with the $200 haircut.
This is the Mar-a-Lago face.
Yeah, it's the somebody said the Mar-a-Lago face. And this would be that would be hate sex, by the way. Whoever said that, if that were to happen, that would be called hate sex. And it's really fun if you've never tried it.
But we got more.
Good. Yeah, give me another one. Hit me again, Pops.
It's Katie Miller. This is Steve Miller's wife.
I've seen this. Yes, do it.
Do we want to throw up Jeff and Lumen if they're ready? Let me know in the private chat if you're ready.
Yeah, let us know in the private chat, guys.
Let's just go into this clip blind. I played it yesterday, but holy shit.
Carlson, who is a very powerful force in the conservative movement.
You host people on your show all the time who call my husband and myself a Nazi. So how is that any different from Tucker Carlson going on?
Nick Fuentes is actually he's anti-Semitic.
He's
a Hitler admirer. Nick Fuentes is actually a Hitler admirer.
Is not a good. That is a different thing. You have Jennifer Welch on your show very often, and you've never pushed back as she has called my husband a white nationalist.
Hold on.
That is no different than Nick Fuentes going on Tucker Carlson's show. It's not, and you should admit it.
Well, hold on. Wait.
Okay, hold on a second. I love that he's like complaining. She's complaining. Hi guys, what's up?
Hey, what's up?
I love that she's complaining about Jennifer Welch, who like makes fun of like Donald Trump's like fat
shit talker,
or
man.
whatever.
Oh, I love it. I love her shit talking skills. They're fantastic. I've never met any woman from that part of the country with better communication skills than Jennifer Welch.
But she's just like a white lady who just talking greasy, like Robert likes to say. And like she's saying, like, you know what? That is the same as a white nationalist, like an actual literal white nationalist. I love doing that shit.
Them getting called fascist or racist is just like getting called jerk or asshole. It's a word and it hurts.
They take it personally, dude. The MAGA trash, they don't like it being called. Now, this is their latest thing, which you're going to probably hear more of because I think it's it plays off of the victimhood thing. Is what happened? Oh, did I do that?
No,
are we good?
Don't worry about it. Nick's doing
okay.
that.
So of the victimhood thing. Oh fuck! That just threw me off. Somebody else take it.
It's all right.
No, okay. So I was gonna say I've got a legit question. I was talking to my wife about this last night, and it's kind of what I want to lean into the next hour of what I want to talk about. This goes into kind of the whole thing with the Venezuela strike. Follow me. Is like I don't understand. Like these people got into power by being, fascists. So I don't understand why they're concerned about being called fascists. I mean this in the most it breaks my brain, and I'm also like trying to get myself in their head
because justice
don't like the word.
Because justice social. Like because here, I'll tell you. Connotation versus
they don't like the word Nazi.
Connotation versus denotation, right? Socialism and communism, we know they're not the same thing, but to most of Americans, they are the same thing. Just as fascism and Nazism is the same thing to them as well, and that's actually more the case.
Jeff says no. I want to actually have a different opinion on that.
You don't think so?
I think that like they like playing around. They're being edgy, and they like dancing around the words like fascist, Nazi, all this other stuff. Yeah. But when it actually starts getting real, when it starts getting in their face, they're just like they don't want the smoke. You know,
but why? Okay, that's fucking smoke.
I'm not.
That's
what
I'm saying, though. That's what I'm saying, though.
They're not actually about it. They're not
with the Venezuela shit. Like, why do they care? It's like, why is Pete Hegseth? And this is a real question. This isn't like it's breaking my brain. It's like, oh, they're like, oh, you ordered this strike. Oh, they're calling you a fascist. Oh, Trump's poll numbers are in the 20s.
Yeah,
I ran on being a god king. I ran on being a piece of shit. Why do I care?
Because they're pussies.
They don't think they're in a cult.
Yeah,
they don't think they're in a cult. They don't. They're no. See, this is the best thing. One of the most important lessons I learned about storytelling in film school is the bad guy doesn't think he's the bad guy. The bad guy thinks he's the good guy. These people are sociopaths.
They think America's been waiting for them to get into power, to let everyone go, oh, we're free now. We don't have to pretend to care about gay people or black people and tiptoe around words and say that OJ was innocent when we all knew he was guilty. It's that Ann Coulter fucking white anger, that white resentment of like having to like cater to these people. Why the fuck are you in my fucking restaurant? Why are you even in my town? Why do I have to see you? Why do I have to be aware that you exist? That's why, again, like Katie Miller's whole thing was you've had Jennifer Welch on your show calling my husband a Nazi, and I'm equating that to Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes normalizing Nazism and fascism to the country, because to me they're the same thing. And Jennifer Welch had a nice response to this, I think.
Real quick, I really love that super last point before you get to the response.
Yeah.
I also love that they're like, hey, we need to invade the city of New Orleans now with the National Guard and kidnap people and black bag 5,000 people or some kind of stuff like they're saying. But also, oh no, somebody was a meanie bobini to me online. Like,
that's just so weird to me. I'm really soft. It's like watching. I'm trying to think of a movie with a really good villain. Like it's like watching Star Wars or something, and then Anakin Skywalker in Episode 4 is like boohoo crying about like, oh, they don't like me on Coruscant or Alderaan or whatever.
Kylo Ren. That's Kylo Ren.
What do we? Yeah. No, it is. And I'm like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? But you know what? It's to his credit, and I mean this in the dark. I've said this before. Like, Trump is the best, most honest American president, where he will sit there and call Somalians like, oh, you're subhuman. You all need to be at a minimum. Get out. And I'm like, like that makes sense to me, because I'm like, oh, this is what America always is. So I guess is what you guys are saying is these people are still stuck in like neoliberalism to where they think like,
and
they
Trump
think
is
like
that way too.
Trump
just new money, and old money doesn't respect new money. It's like, you're a fucking gauche. You know, we're not going to let you, you might technically be able to be in this country club, but we don't have to sit down at the table. Tower. Yeah, exactly.
Let's wrap Alex and let them have their time. But one thing I do remember what I was going to say earlier.
Get out of here.
The rhetoric that you're going to hear from the right, the narcissistic victimhood I was alluding to at the end of my episode, is going to show up with like, when you do call them fascists and when you do call them Nazis, they're going to be like, you're being really dangerous with what you're calling.
Yeah. Your rhetoric is you're really dialing it up. You're
they know people want
words are violent all of a sudden.
People want to smoke fascists, man. Fascists are the bad guys. They've been the bad guys. Do you want to react to this video before we leave?
Yeah.
Jennifer Welch's response to Katie Miller, I just thought was fantastic.
For the permanent record, I want to say it again. Yes, I think Stephen Miller is a hateful white nationalist with Nazi ambitions. And I want to make sure I'm crystal clear about that. And I don't think that alone. Millions and millions and millions of Americans do. And Katie Miller, when you go to bed at night, and you tuck your kids in, at some point, your kids are going to know, oh, our parents are racist. Our parents don't give a shit about certain people. At some point, your lack of empathy, when you love on your kids, if you can't transfer that empathy to other people because they look differently than you, or their origins are from a different country than you, and you can't transfer that, that's a level of psychopathy and sociopathy that I don't know can be treated other than being in a padded cell in a straitjacket, because that's how insane and cruel and mean I believe you and your husband are.
I mean, I think that's a perfect response there. By the way,
the E word, dude, evil.
They remind me of Diamond and Silk.
I get
Diamond and Silk.
Yeah, no, 100%.
They're like the opposite.
But you know what about them is like, I'm not a fan of their content just because I'm a leftist, and that doesn't mean like, it's like saying I'm not a fan of, I play video games, I'm not a fan of Stardew Valley just because it's not my thing. But I understand why people enjoy it,
of course.
But what they're doing is they're doing things like the 100% right way, like the way as a leftist I want, to where they're like, okay, the audience that we're bringing in, some of them are going to be stuck in like the neoliberal spinning their wheels and are going to be here. But the rest of y'all, we're kicking you up to Hassan.
Yeah.
And then Hassan will kick you up even further.
That's what I was
like,
saying.
that's
exactly what I was going to say. That's exactly what I was going to say, and we'll close here. But she's evolved a lot. First of all, she's come a long way since I started watching her about a year ago, and she's only getting more progressive. And I think she represents the transition. She's like the personification of the transition that needs to happen. It's kind of what you were just saying, Lumen, but I just thought I'd say it my way too.
Yeah,
the wine moms out there with swords and fucking Palestine flags, like it's happening. People, you can tell, you can command people to believe that the economy's okay because the stock market's okay and whatnot. But if they can't afford their fucking groceries, if they can't afford their day-to-days, they're going to be looking for a different answer, and it's going to come from
And I do think to Steel Man, what you guys were talking about when I, had my question about like what are they so concerned about? I think, it does do these fascists, these like low rent fascists, some kind of psychic damage to see two women who look like they know their way around a Hobby Lobby, like telling you you're a bad person.
Yes.
It does some kind of damage.
Irreplaceable ethos, fantastic ethos. When a woman gets up in a bully's face, what's the bully going to do? Hit her?
Yeah,
I mean, come on. No, he's got to sit there and fucking take it.
You like sniz. I don't know if we talked about it, but if anybody's talked about this. But yeah, it's like you've lost all control here when somebody's just laid out the facts to you and like, what are you going to do? Yell at her? Like, what are you going to do? Put your hands on her? Like, there's nothing you can do. You have no power here. And
no, you're going to Katie Miller yell at her back, and you're going to look like a crazy bitch.
Well, thanks for the overlap, guys.
Thank you for the overlap.
Pumps looks like she can scrap though. I don't know.
Pumps is tough, dude. Pumps is a tough one. She's a lawyer. She's mean. Thanks for the overlap, fellas. And I just want to remind my audience and everybody else listening to, if you haven't already, consider joining your local DSA. And remember from my show that you don't get change in America by asking nicely. Thanks for watching.
Absolutely. And folks, next week on my show on Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, y'all are welcome. If you play video games and you're a host on this space,